Ever notice how some legal cases just hinge on something more? Like, it's not just the facts, We're going deep on strategy today, like how lawyers win over judges, but with arguments, not just laws on a page.
It's wild, right? People think legal arguments, black and white, but there's a real art to it. Tapping into a judge's sense of what's right, what really matters.
Okay, so less law and order, more like subtle psychology in the courtroom.
Exactly. This legal writing guide I told you about, it calls it the why should I care technique. Give the judge a reason to want to rule for you, even if the law's a little fuzzy.
So understanding what makes a judge tick beyond just the books, what are those hidden things then?
Well, it breaks down a few key judicial fears, right? Big one is a judge being terrified of misinterpreting the law or like going against precedent.
Makes sense. Nobody wants to be the judge who gets overturned on appeal looking silly.
Exactly. We see it in huge cases, too. Miller L.V. Dretka, racial bias in picking juries. Carter Phillips, the appellate lawyer, he argued that if the Supreme Court didn't overturn the lower court, they'd be contradicting their own W.N. past rulings on racial bias. Can you imagine?
So it's not just this case. It's the court's whole image, their legacy on racial justice. Bold move.
Right. It's a bigger picture. Long game. And even, a young Barack Obama used this early on.
No way. Seriously, what kind of case?
Voting rights case, Tias v. Bosley. Obama argued the lower court basically flipped the Voting Rights Act on its head completely.
Also,
they were saying intentional discrimination, totally fine, as long as the end result looked okay racially. Obama said, whoa, that misses the point. Voting Rights Act is about equal access no matter who wins in the end.
So he's going for a moral high ground there. Like, this small case cracks the foundation of voting rights. Wonder if his opponent saw that coming.
Maybe not. But that's the brilliance. You frame it so the judge wants to be on the right side of history, upholding the law, the whole point, even a small case, huge ripple effect.
It's like that thing, the butterfly flapping its wings.
Exactly. And that leads to another judicial fear, making a decision that creates a mess legally for everyone else.
Right, because then every other lawyer is going to use that ruling, right?
Yep. Savvy lawyers use that fear. Carrington v. Duke University, that whole Duke lacrosse scandal.
Oh, wow. I remember that. All over the news.
Right. Players cleared, but they sued the school. Jamie Gorelick, lawyer for Duke, she said if they put new rules on universities because of this case, total disaster.
How so?
She said if schools are on the hook for everything that might hurt a student, impossible. They'd have to be all-seeing, all-knowing, and still get sued.
So not just this case, but imagine a world where universities can't even function.
Exactly. Unintended consequences, even if the ruling sounds good at first. Speaking of which, that librarian, the Harry Potter lexicon...
Wait, the fan made one?
Yes. J.K. Rowling, furious. Copyright lawsuit, but the librarian, secret weapon. Larry Lessig, the lawyer.
Didn't he do internet law? Like, a big deal in that world.
The best. He said if Rowling wins, authors control all reference guides to their work. Gone. Centuries of commentaries, supplements, all wiped out.
So this tiny case becomes about fair use, the future of how we even analyze books.
Exactly. Freedom of expression, the whole shebang. Now that's leverage.
So we've got judges scared of messing up the law, setting a bad example. What else? Like, what really gets them?
Oh, it's more than just the law, right? They're human. Fairness, real-world stuff, that matters to judges, too.
So it got to appeal to their heartstrings a little, not just their legal brain.
Exactly. This why should I care thing, sometimes it's about showing a ruling against you. Would be wrong. Morally, even if the law's on their side, technically.
Ooh, examples of that. Love a good story.
Remember that Twitter lawsuit? Families of those terror victims?
Yeah, they said Twitter was helping ISIS because they had accounts and stuff.
Right. Now, some judges might hesitate there. Punishing a company for what terrorists do. Slippery slope.
It is hard to imagine, like, holding a platform responsible for everything users do.
Right. But the family's lawyer, he made it about fairness. Twitter knew, or should have known, ISIS was using them to plot attacks, he said.
So, less about free speech, more about responsibility to stop bad stuff.
Exactly. Moral obligation, even if the law wasn't clear. Right and wrong, that's powerful stuff.
Interesting. So it's framing the story, not just the facts. More of that, more example.
Oh, yeah. Even boring old judges' salaries can get juicy.
That Nussbaum case, right? New York judges wanting more pay.
That's the one. On paper, just a budget fight. But Nussbaum, he made it about the quality of justice in New York.
How'd he swing that?
He said because they're paid so bad, hard to get good judges. They'd make way more money elsewhere.
So, like, hurting regular people in court because the good judges quit.
Exactly. Less qualified judges, less fair trials. It's everyone's problem, suddenly.
Wow, thinking on their feet. So, fear, fairness. What else tugs at those judgy heartstrings?
Empathy. Basic, right. Make the judge see your client, the human side, not just a name on a file.
Makes sense. You'd listen harder if you actually like the person. Even a little.
Totally. Especially if your client. Isn't that likable at first? Big corporations always getting slammed.
Yeah, not known for being the good guy most of the time.
Right. But even they can get some sympathy, right? Lawyer knows how.
No way, how?
Little guy sues, huge corp, easy to side with the little guy, but T-Key, good lawyer for the corporation. They talk about employees losing jobs if there's a huge payout. Shareholders, maybe it's just regular folks saving for retirement.
So it's not evil corporation, it's people's lives you're messing with.
Exactly. Human cost. Even if it's a big company. Gotta find that emotional core.
So fear, fairness, empathy. Anything else in this judge-swaying toolbox of yours? Feels like we're learning Jedi mind tricks.
One more, and it's a biggie. Consequences. Like painting that picture. What happens because of this ruling? The future, almost.
So not just this case, but the ripple effect. Judges really think that long-term.
They do. It's getting them to see past this one fight to the bigger picture. And honestly, it works even in cases that seem, kind of basic at first.
Example time. How do you make a patent fight? Like over a phone screen or something? Sound important.
Perfect example. Say you've got some tech company, right? New phone screen tech, patent fight. You could just do the boring patent stuff, or you make it about the future of innovation. Bam.
Okay, love it. How'd you do that, though? Go from law books to being all visionary.
You say, look, if they win this other company and control this patent, innovation dies. Other companies, they get scared to invest, to research, because this one company's got them blocked.
So one little screen becomes the whole future of phones, maybe?
Right. You're tapping into that desire, judges have it too, to make decisions that help everyone push us forward. Their ruling matters more than just this courtroom. They know that.
Like they're shaping destiny, one case at a time.
Exactly. And this strategy, killer when it's new tech. Industries where the rules are still being figured out. That one ruling, boom, impacts things for decades, maybe.
This has been eye-opening. So these why should I care tricks, it's more than just law. It's like persuasion superpowers.
Right. And the best lawyers are like persuasion ninjas, using these tools so subtly. Good story, good narrative, just as important as knowing the law, sometimes even more.
Makes you think law isn't just rules on a page then, huh? It's people's stories, what they want, trying to make things fair.
100%. And that's what makes this so powerful. Every case, there's a human side. The best arguments, they hit you right there in the heart and the head at the same time.
This deep dive, whole new way of looking at winning in court. It's about people.
Who knew?
Couldn't have said it better.
And for everyone listening, even if you're not a lawyer, convincing your boss for that raise, getting the kids to, eat vegetables, same idea. Figure out what they care about, make that connection, and suddenly they're listening. Truth. We're all persuading each other every day, right? Knowing these tricks, that's how you get heard, no matter who's listening.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for exploring with us.